I'm Dr. Samuel Alan Alexander, mathematician and philosopher, still here, and I'm continuing my work on this paper, which is tentatively titled The Third Eye and the Third Hand. And I'm going to be working on the illustrations for this paper. Last time I started by drawing a couple of hands. Now the reason why I'm doing this manually using Inkscape instead of having AI do it is because we need two hands of the same shape, but one of them should be palm up and the other should be palm down so that they have the same shape, the thumbs on the same sides. And remarkably, I found that AI is absolutely terrible at doing that. It refuses to draw hands in those positions. And I think that's because this is a novel sort of thing and nobody's really been looking at this sort of phenomenon. And so AI has never been trained on that sort of thing. Anyway, we need fingernails on one of these hands and we need a palm on the other hand. And I don't like how these fingers, if you zoom in, have this sort of double prong shape on them. I want to fix that. Let's see whether that can be fixed easily. Yeah, like so. I'm controlling the Bezier curve controls using Inkscape's Bezier curve tool. I'm just making these fingers a little bit smoother where the two fingers meet. That's kind of, yeah, that's fine. And this thumb, I don't like having this gap here. Make this a little more vertical. Maybe adjust this like so. Yeah. Be nice if this one here was a little bit more curved. That's a little bit better. That created a visible artifact here, which I'll try to correct. Like so. Yeah, that's pretty good. At this level of zoom, you can see some artifacts, but those artifacts won't be visible at the level of zoom which people actually read the paper. Now, overlap that where the other hand had been. And delete that other hand. Good. Okay, now we need fingernails on one of these, and we need palm print on the other one. Now, how to do fingerprints? Let's see. Let's put the fingerprints on the... Let's see, the thumbs are facing right, so the fingerprints should go on the left hand. Or the fingernails. Did I say fingerprints? I meant to say fingernails. What's the best way to do this? Let me see if there's any LaTeX character that looks like a fingernail. So it would sort of be like that, and then like that. Detectify thinks I drew a circle. Yeah. What if we put like so? None of these look remotely like a fingerprint. A fingernail. I keep saying fingerprint when I meant to say fingernail. What if we put this thing here? Yeah. No fingernails in LaTeX. Nothing even remotely close. So I guess we're probably gonna have to draw these fingernails from scratch. Huh. Maybe the up theta looks kind of fingernailish. Yeah. Okay, time to draw a fingernail. What I'll do is I'll ungroup this hand so I can grab one of the individual fingers and then regroup the hand. And then I'm gonna modify that finger. I'll shrink it. It's not an object properties. I could swear that you could do like this. Option minus, but it doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Object transform. Yeah. Let's see. Let's try scaling it by 80%. And delete these Bezier controls because we don't need it to be nearly as large as the finger. That's not good. Didn't mean to do that. Still way too tall for the fingernail. Okay, this isn't working very well. Let's just forget the idea of adapting it from the finger, and let's just draw it purely from scratch. It'll be 2 Bezier curves, the top, like so. I'll try to adjust this to look more fingernailish. It's too long as is. Also, the line is too thick. Let's start over. Something like that. It's a little asymmetrical. We can fix that like so. Okay, now we need the Bezier curve for the bottom part of the fingernail. This part will be more tricky. Let's see. Whoops. These Bezier curves really take some skill to learn how to do correctly. Okay, let's try simplifying that. Yeah, simplify it. Repeated simplifications, good. Okay, we have these artifacts here. And to deal with those artifacts, we'll just adjust these controls a little bit. Okay, now the fingernail is a little bit misshaped. I think the angle is a little wrong on the right side. To fix that, we need to drag this control over a little ways here. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good fingernail, if I may say so myself. I think perhaps the stroke is a little thick. Instead of 160, let's make it 130. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now should we or should we not? Let's group this. Should we or should we not put the cuticles? What would this look like with a cuticle? Now the cuticle would have to be significantly more thin, and this shape is terrible. It's too thin, it doesn't really show up. Let's not include the cuticles. Okay. Copy that fingernail and paste it into these other fingers. Let's see now. Yeah, just paste it. I suppose they shouldn't all be exactly the same size, like the pinky's fingernail should be a little bit smaller. But I think that's good enough. The point is to convey the general idea. It's not required to be absolutely anatomically perfect. Okay, now the thumb. The thumb will require special treatment. Or does it? I wonder, what if we take one of these fingernails and what if we rotate it? By what degree should we rotate it? Let's try rotating it in these increments. Hey, this actually works pretty well. Surprisingly, not too bad. Now let's see. I think like that is all right. Now we run into the problem that the thickness of the outline of the thumb is too thick. Let's try and fix that. The thumb is a little sharp here. Try and make this thumb a little less sharp. Bit of artifacting here. That introduces other artifacts. I think that's probably good enough. Now for the other hand, on the other hand, we're going to want to have palm prints. We'll use Bezier curves for those as well. Got this one curve here. Something like that. Not sure why the thickness is so thin. I think this is probably a little better. Maybe go for 110 thickness, yeah. Move this. Let's see, that should be. Something like that. Should be maybe a little more vertical here. And you have, I suppose if I were a palm reader, I would be able to give names to these specific lines, like that's the love line, that's the fate line or whatever. But I'm not a palm reader. And you have this other one here. And you also have the creases on the backs of the fingers. Now let's make these kind of more converge to each other. Yeah. Move this one down a little more. Nice. Okay, now let's add these creases on the back of the fingers. Oh, I think we'll just do that once and then we'll just copy paste. And the crease, how's that going to look? Well, I'll have this one here, and let's make that more thin. Make it extend into the outlines of the fingers themselves. Let's paste it and flip the pasted version vertically. Just put that there. But I think we need to make it a touch thinner still. 0.060. 0.050. Now if we would group that, copy paste it here. Just wanted to put these initially to see how they look. La la la, just placing some creases on the back of my fingers. This one goes like there. And this one goes like there. Are these two distances equal? Yeah, pretty good. And then this one here, I'll put one slightly below that one. And then that one's a little below that one. La la la. And one on the thumb. Now, for that one, we're going to want to rotate it a bit. And another one at the bottom of the index finger. Now if we zoom out, not too bad. I think those creases kind of, they stick out a little bit. Now in the thought bubble, we'll have the two hands, and we'll also have the third hand. Now I'm gonna overlay this exactly so that then I can move it up and I look at the bottom of the screen to get a purely vertical movement. These are the hands in the thought bubble. Now, in the thought bubble, we're also gonna have the third hand. So I take the left hand, copy it, and then move it purely horizontally to the right. Make sure we have a good overlay. Move it purely horizontally to the right. Again, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen where it tells me what the delta I'm doing is, and I want that second one to be 0.00 millimeters. Okay, then I take the right hand and I overlay it. This is the whole point of the palms and fingerprints, the palms and fingernails. There we get the right hand, which has both palm and fingernails. Ooh, and I see now a problem, which is that these creases overlap the fingernails. We're going to have to fix that. We need to lower the rightmost, topmost three creases. So let's delete this. Kind of need to lower the topmost, rightmost three creases so that they don't clash with the fingernails. And then let's lower this one accordingly as well, so as not to disbalance things too awfully much. Lower this one here. Lower this one accordingly now. That one should still be above the other two. And then lower this one here a bit. And lower this crease. Whoops. Didn't mean to grab the hand. Lower this crease here accordingly. Okay, now let's try superimposing that. See whether, yeah, that fixes the problem of the creases running into the fingernails. The pinky crease is still a little close to the fingernail. I want to lower the pinky crease a little bit. Just a tad. And then lower the middle pinky crease just a tad. Okay. Try superimposing this. The thumbs are not identical, so they don't superimpose exactly right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's see. Yeah, just delete one of the hands. because the hands are independent of all the other stuff. Yeah. You can see that thumbnail protruding out a little bit. Let's just move it slightly to fix that. There we go. And grab everything here. Why does it not? Oh, because I'm using the wrong tool. Grab everything here except the hand and delete it all. And then grab everything here except the hand and paste it all in. Oh no, we want the hand too. Very good. Okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's good enough for our purposes. Now, let's grab the illustration from the original paper, of which this new paper is the sequel. And that original paper, I last modified that 5 years ago. Hard to believe. Time flies. Now I'm gonna download this Socrates middle I.svg. Download that and put it into the third hand folder. And let's go ahead and commit it. Git add Socrates middle I.svg, git commit Socrates middle I.svg. And let's open that up in Inkscape. Okay, now we're going to want the head and the bubble. So we paste that in. Now we don't want the contents of the bubble. Let's delete that. And we don't want these things. We basically want the head and the bubble. Now the head is going to need to be larger. Move the head over here. And we're going to scale it. I think that's a good size for the head. And the bubble. Now the bubble is going to need to be significantly scaled up so that it can fit all the hands. Just a little bit bigger than this. Okay, now We're going to want to move these little circles here indicating that it's a thought bubble. Rearrange them a bit. Yeah. Oh, I accidentally grabbed a couple of the fingernails. I did not want to do that. Okay. Now we need arms. Oh, and because we scaled this thing, the lines are a little too thick. So we're going to go to the object properties. Now for the hand, the stroke style is 1 millimeter and, that doesn't make any sense. Why is it showing width of 1 millimeter for the hand when I select it? Let's try ungrouping it. Yeah, that's more like it. 0.35. Let's go with width of 0.35. Let's not change the width of the eyes. Let's go with 0.5. A little more thick. Now there's visible artifacts here. Let's try and adjust those. Yeah. Just adjusting to get rid of those artifacts. Likewise over here. Make this eye width be 0.6. And adjust to fix this artifact here. Good. Okay. We have our face. Okay, now the thought bubble is, it's way too thick. Make it the same thickness as the face, 0.5. Much better. Maybe adjust these slightly. Move these little circles. What do you call the little circles that indicate a thought bubble? Do those have a name? Okay. Okay, now we need arms. This is looking good so far, but we need arms. Or do we? I don't think we need full arms. Let's just make the arms be vertical. I look at the bottom of the screen to make sure it's 90 degrees. Okay, that's too thick. We want it to be 0.160. And then once we have that one little stick there, we'll just copy paste that for the other one. And then let's see. You can grab the hand and the two sticks and paste those over here in order to make the sticks be positioned in the same way. And delete the surplus hand that we just created. Yep. And then put those hands over here as well, put those sticks over here as well. Paste over the existing hand, delete the new surplus hand that we created. Do it for the third hand. Delete the surplus. Do it for the right hand in the thought bubble. Delete the surplus. Nice. I like it. Okay, let's save this. Well, document properties and resize to content and save it. We're gonna call this, let's see, this will go in writing, third hand, and we'll call this hands.svg. That'll be the file that we commit, and we'll also save it as an EPS. That'll be the file that we upload to Overleaf. Git add hands.svg, git commit hands.svg. Okay. I wonder if maybe I should make these hands a little bit thicker. Now what happens if we, or just scale the hands slightly. If we were to scale this by 110%, still looks pretty good, right? If we were to scale it by 110% again, yeah, it works. Scale this other one the same way. Scale the three in the thought bubble the same way. They then are too big for the thought bubble, but we can just move them slightly to make them fit in the thought bubble. Let's scale the thought bubble itself just a little bit. Move the thought bubble so it's no longer running into the original, the true hands. Move the hands in the thought bubble. Yeah. Let's go to properties and resize to content again. Oh, we need the arrow, of course. We need the arrows from the eyes to the hands. That's quite critical. The right eye is staring at the left hand. Now let's make this dashed and put an arrow on it. And we'll copy paste that, flip it horizontally. Whoops. What the heck? If you copy paste a Bezier curve while you have the Bezier curve modification tool selected, it does weird things. Move that right hand a little bit. Yeah, now we've got those beautiful arrows showing where the eyes are pointing. Now, they're not quite symmetrical. This one needs to be moved up a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty good for the figure. Let's save that as hands.svg. Also save it as an EPS. Okay, let's upload those in Overleaf. Don't need to send the SVGs to Overleaf. What we do need to do though is we need to take this figure why on earth is it not document set to, I'm gonna go document settings and resize to content for sure. Save that. And also save this as EPS. Upload that to Overleaf. Socrates middle eye dot EPS. Let's git commit tweak to SVGs. Now let's add the code for actually displaying the figures. Where shall we mention figure 1? Cross them more, and the two middle hands appear to move closer to each other. Cross your eyes to a very extreme degree, and the two middle hands pass through each other, exchanging places. But cross your eyes to just exactly the right degree, and the two middle hands, instead of right degree, let's say correct degree, since right degree has a special technical meaning. And the two middle hands perfectly overlap, becoming one single hand, making the total number of hands 3. See figure 1. And we will put figure 1 at the very top of the article. Now, let me open my Knight Darwin law paper so I can copy the syntax. I'll label this as hands figure. Instead of saying see figure 1, I'll say see figure ref hands figure. Caption. The third hand illusion. And there we're gonna insert hands.eps. Now, figure 2, let's place it here. We'll call that eyes figure, the third eye illusion, and it's Socrates middle eye.eps. Paste the LaTeX code in Overleaf, and let's see if this will compile. It does compile, but the third hand illusion is far too large. Far larger than we wanted it. Well, we can scale that. I don't want to scale it too much though. If we scale it 75%, it gets a little more reasonable. The thought bubble is taking up a ton of unnecessary space. Let's try and rectify that. Shrink this thought bubble vertically. Then we can take the whole thing and move it down vertically. Let's move these 3 circles up a bit. Document properties, resize to content. Save that as both SVG and EPS. Upload that new EPS to Overleaf. overwrite, and recompile. Still too large to fit on the same page. Maybe we can move these hands down a little bit. Move everything else down accordingly. Adjust these arrows. File, document, properties, resize to content. Save that. Save it as EPS and also as SVG. Upload that to Overleaf. Overwrite, recompile. Still too large vertically. How much do we need to scale this down? What if we scale it to 0.6? What if we were to scale it to 0.5? Still too large. What if we move the location of it to be immediately after the first paragraph? What if we scale it to 0.4? Just for binary search purposes, what if we scale it to 0.1? Okay, at 0.1 it works. Now why is LaTeX putting it way down there? Okay, let's try 0.25. Let's put it before the first paragraph. If I make it 0.3, then it works. But that might break if we make the abstract. And if we were to make it 0.5, I'm not sure if it's idempotent. we could go to extreme measures. As an extreme measure, yeah, this is probably what we'll have to do. As an extreme measure, remove the whole thought bubble over here. Move these circles. Document properties, resize to content. Yeah, because we have tons of horizontal space not used. In fact, we could even try to further lower this. Yeah, this is kind of the nuclear option. Document properties, resize to content. Yeah. Save it as SVG, save it as EPS, replace, upload to the EPS to overleaf. Overwrite. Now, what's the scale on the figure 2? Scale 1. Would scale 1 work? Now it's too horizontally wide. Okay, let's try scale equals 0.75. Let's try scale equals 0.6. Let's try scale equals 0.5. There we go. All right. I'll stop there for today. I think we made good progress. We got the figure. Let's git commit. Tweak figure. I'm Dr. Samuel Allen Alexander, mathematician and philosopher. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.